The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder, guilty, verdict.
That is the Clerk of Court in Colton County, Rebecca Hill, better known as Miss Becky. Alec Murdaugh and his defense team have accused the clerk, Miss Becky Hill, of the unthinkable, tampering with the jury. The defense team say she did this for a book deal, money, and fame. However, the ghostwriter to her book has a different opinion of the situation. Here's what he has to say.
The only thing I can tell you is her integrity, which is she's one of the most genuine people I have ever met.
We now know from Twitter post by Eric Bland, an attorney that took care of the Satterfield boys, as well as Stephen Smith's mother, is now representing the jurors that made these claims, and stated to Mr. Harpootlian, "You told them to get an attorney, and they got me."
The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116. Guilty, verdict.
We never considered the likelihood, as reported to us by the jurors, that the Clerk of Court would go in to the sanctity of the jury room before he testified and tell the jurors, "Don't be fooled by his testimony."
The only thing I can tell you is her integrity, which is she's one of the most genuine people I have ever met. She's a rule follower.
The information we got, I can tell you, was independent of each juror. The first juror we talked to, we got information about Ms. Hill saying, "Don't be fooled." And then the second juror, independent of the first juror, says the same thing, and the third juror, independent of the other two, say the same thing. And so we're very confident.
Hill, according to Murdaugh's motion for a new trial, made up a story about a Facebook post that claimed a juror dubbed Egg Lady had talked with her ex-husband about the case. That juror was removed right before closing arguments and replaced with an alternate, James McDowell. Murdaugh's lawyers believe Egg Lady would have voted not guilty, possibly causing a hung jury.
I want to thank the Colton County Clerk of Court, Becky Hill, and her entire team and their staff. I don't know. I call her Becky Boo, that's her nickname, but Madam Clerk, wherever you are tonight.
So why would Miss Hill do something like this? Well, the defense believes it was for this book called Behind the Doors of Justice that she co-authored with Neil Gordon.
I started working with her in late March and reached back to her. Becky said, "Well, I may want to write a book." And so they put us together, and we accomplished writing the book within 6 months. Most books are, and many of the Murdaugh books are, a year to 2 years in the makings. I would say it was a pretty rapid pace. I was very surprised at a lot of the allegations. The Becky Hill that I've known for 6 months, I asked her every question under the moon about all of her duties, dealing with the jury and the attorneys and the judge and the public and the media and everything. And the only thing we discussed, which gave me an idea about her integrity, she said it was a very prayerful jury. And I said, "Well, did you get to pray with them?" And she said, "Oh goodness, that is against my oath of office. We're not allowed to do that. We did pray with folks on my staff, but it was just a prayerful jury." So it was very surprising. And one of the reasons I wanted to come on is Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin tried to pin the book as a linchpin or a reason why some of these allegations were made and what she's alleged to have done. This is a self-published book. Together, we put $30,000 of our own money because we believed in having a piece of history for what's considered the trial of the century. And so we put our blood, sweat, and tears and money into it. So to say that there was a book deal, that's why, perhaps some of those allegations were made, is ridiculous. It was self-published and it was checked through the Ethics Commission. She's entitled, like anyone else, to write a book and to offer up her opinions. And in this case, the title says it all. Behind the Doors of Justice. This was just an opportunity to explain a little bit how the sausage was made, if you will, and for her to be able to explain just how things, happen behind the scenes. And it's just a fascinating read. And there is an opportunity for there to make money. Hasn't made money yet. Don't know if it will, but really was just a great opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, to take a snapshot in history.
Neil Gordon was also asked about the allegations that Becky Hill was seen in the bathroom with the foreperson having private communications.
Well, I wasn't there, so I wasn't privy to any of these supposed back office conversations. The only thing I can tell you is her integrity, which is she's one of the most genuine people I have ever met. She's a rule follower, not one, as I mentioned about the prayer, not one to try to deviate to her oath of office, which she took very seriously, especially under the guidance of Judge Newman, who she respects greatly. She will be continuing to review these allegations with her attorneys in Columbia. They will be putting out a statement, and we'd be happy to send that to you. I can't speak for her, other than I can vouch for her character. I mean, there's very typical conversations that go on if somebody's sick, things of that regard. Hello, kind of thing. She's sort of like the operations manager in a big company. She's just working with a lot of different entities, but those were the only conversations that we talked about her having with the jury. And I spent, like I said, 6 months with her, a lot of nights and weekends, and I asked her every question imaginable about where she was, what she was thinking, who she had conversations with, what she overheard, just the major who, what, why, where that we would all ask. And never did anything at all come up like that. The only thing, like I say, that we did put in the book was about the prayer, and I was touched by how she defended their right to pray, but the fact that she wasn't allowed to pray with them. It's just against the rules of conduct for a clerk of court. Very prayerful jury. It's in chapter 12 of Behind the Doors of Justice. She listed the fact that they were, I think it was prayerful, persistent, and I'm forgetting the last P, but in describing the jury, just how purposeful they were and careful they were, in terms of however they, conducted their business. About Becky is that she's going to tell the truth, whatever the allegations are. She's going to respond and tell the truth. And I know that she's not going to get into any kind of a spitting match with the Murdaugh attorneys. She has her own attorneys, and they're reviewing all of the allegations, and soon enough, she'll make a statement.
We have learned from the state attorney that they will be filing the necessary paperwork in response to the defendant's allegations in due time. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channel. Don't forget to see me on TikTok, where I am putting out short videos every single day that you may enjoy. God bless and take care.